Have you ever wondered how some people come up with amazing ideas that change the world? It's not magic, it's a special way of thinking. Research shows that nearly 70% of people believe they aren't creative. That's a shocking number, but here's the truth. Creativity is a skill you can learn and develop. Did you know that the average person has about 6,000 thoughts a day? Yet, most of us stick to the same routines and ways of thinking. This can stifle our creativity. In contrast, creative geniuses embrace chaos, play, and even failure. They understand that the path to great ideas is often messy and full of surprises. In this video, we'll explore unique strategies that creative minds use to think differently. You'll discover how to borrow ideas, break the rules, and even enjoy distractions. Plus, you'll learn why failure isn't something to fear but something to embrace. Get ready to unlock your inner innovator. By the end of this journey, you'll have powerful tools to help you think like a creative genius. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. The Myth of Originality. Why copying is the first step. There's a common belief that creativity means coming up with something entirely new. But here's the truth. Nothing is 100% original. Even Picasso once said, "Good artists copy, great artists steal." Many creative geniuses start by borrowing or remixing ideas from others. Think about Steve Jobs, for example. When creating the iPhone, he didn't invent touchscreens or apps. He combined existing technologies in a way that had never been done before. That's the magic of creativity. It's about connecting things in fresh ways. In fact, studies show that 72% of groundbreaking innovations come from improving on something that already exists. So, what can you do? Start by copying. Yes, really. Look at artists, writers, or designers you admire. Study their work closely. Copy their techniques, but don't stop there. The goal is to take what you learn and make it your own. The more you absorb from others, the better you'll get at transforming those ideas into something fresh. If you've ever felt stuck trying to create something totally new, stop worrying. Borrow, remix, and adapt. That's how most creative geniuses get started. Chapter 2. Thinking in reverse. Break the rules to spark innovation. One of the biggest secrets to thinking like a genius is breaking the rules. This doesn't mean chaos for the sake of chaos, but rather looking at problems from the opposite direction. It's called reverse thinking, and it's a game changer. Take the example of Netflix. In the early 2000s, video rentals meant late fees and physical stores. Reed Hastings flipped the script. Instead of customers picking up movies, why not deliver them straight to their homes? Instead of charging late fees, why not have a subscription model? That reverse thinking disrupted the entire industry. There's a reason this works. Our brains are wired to follow patterns, but when you force yourself to break a rule, you disrupt those patterns. Psychologists call this cognitive flexibility, and it's a hallmark of creative thinkers. Studies from Stanford have shown that people who can break mental patterns are 33% more likely to come up with novel ideas. To use this strategy, pick a rule or assumption in your field, then ask, what if we did the opposite? Let's say you're a photographer. What if instead of waiting for the perfect light, you shot in the worst conditions possible? What would that look like? Sometimes, thinking backwards leads to surprising breakthroughs. Chapter 3. The Power of Play. Why childlike curiosity fuels big ideas. It might sound simple, but one of the keys to creativity is play. Yes, like when you were a kid. Play sparks curiosity, and curiosity leads to new ideas. In fact, Albert Einstein once said, "The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination." When we play, our minds wander. We stop focusing on outcomes and start exploring possibilities. It's during these moments of freedom that creativity thrives. Research backs this up. A study from the University of Minnesota found that people who allow themselves playful breaks are 20% more likely to come up with innovative solutions than those who work non-stop. Think about J.K. Rowling. The idea for Harry Potter came to her not while working at a desk, but while daydreaming on a train. Similarly, Richard Feynman, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, often spent his downtime playing with puzzles and pranks. He believed these activities helped him think in creative ways about complex problems. So, how do you embrace play as an adult? Simple activities like doodling, brainstorming wild ideas, or trying a new hobby can unlock your creative potential. Let go of the pressure to be productive all the time. Allow yourself moments of fun. You'll be surprised at how much it helps. Incorporate playful curiosity into your daily routine, and you'll start seeing the world differently. Creativity isn't just about hard work, it's also about giving your brain the space to wander. If you're enjoying these insights, don't forget to subscribe. You won't want to miss the upcoming chapters that will further unlock your creative potential. Chapter 4. Embrace the chaos. How to channel distraction into genius. We've all been told to focus if we want to be productive. But what if I told you that some of the world's most creative minds actually embrace distraction? In fact, research suggests that a wandering mind can unlock fresh ideas. A 2012 study from the University of California found that participants who let their minds drift came up with 41% more creative ideas than those who stayed focused. Take J.K. Rowling, for instance. She didn't come up with the idea for Harry Potter while sitting down to write. It happened when she let her mind wander during a delayed train ride. Similarly, Mark Twain often credited his best ideas to long walks where he let his thoughts roam. The trick isn't to let distraction take over but to allow it in small doses. Psychologists call this structured procrastination. It's about setting aside time to deliberately not focus on the task at hand. You can take a walk, work on something unrelated, or even doodle. These breaks give your subconscious the space to work on the problem without the pressure of forced concentration. So, next time you're stuck, try leaning into the distraction. Let your mind wander, but keep a notebook handy for those unexpected sparks of inspiration. Embracing chaos can lead to genius when you let go of trying to control everything. Chapter 5. Divergent thinking. How to expand your mind with contradictions. Many people think creativity is about having one great idea. In reality, it's often about generating as many ideas as possible, even if some seem contradictory or far-fetched. This is where divergent thinking comes in. Instead of focusing on a single solution, divergent thinking encourages you to explore all possible solutions, even if they seem unrelated or absurd. One classic example is brainstorming. The idea is to get as many thoughts on paper as possible, without judging them too quickly. A study from Indiana University found that people who engaged in brainstorming sessions came up with 50% more creative ideas than those who stuck to traditional problem-solving methods. Creative geniuses like Leonardo da Vinci thrived on this method. He filled notebooks with drawings, random observations, and contradictory thoughts. By allowing his mind to roam freely, he was able to connect seemingly unrelated ideas, leading to his many inventions and artworks. So how can you do this? Next time you face a problem, don't settle on the first idea that comes to mind. Write down all the possible solutions, no matter how strange or contradictory they seem. You can also use the "what if" technique. What if you tried the opposite? What if you combined two unrelated ideas? The more ideas you generate, the more likely you are to stumble upon a breakthrough. Chapter 6. The Art of Failure. Why genius requires risk and mistakes. One of the biggest myths about creative geniuses is that they get everything right on the first try. The truth? Failure is part of the process. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." It took him countless experiments to perfect the light bulb, but each failure brought him one step closer to success. In fact, a study from Northwestern University found that people who embrace failure and keep trying are more likely to produce groundbreaking work. The researchers analyzed over 700,000 patents and found that inventors who experienced early failures often produced their most successful inventions later in their careers. Take Elon Musk, for example. Before Tesla and SpaceX, he had numerous failed ventures. But instead of giving up, he learned from his mistakes and used them as stepping stones to future success. The same goes for most creative minds. They view failure as feedback rather than defeat. So how can you embrace failure? First, shift your mindset. Instead of seeing mistakes as setbacks, view them as learning opportunities. Every time something doesn't work, ask yourself, what did I learn from this? How can I apply this lesson to my next attempt? Don't be afraid to take risks, because that's where the magic happens. Failure is not the enemy of creativity, it's part of the journey. The more risks you take, the more opportunities you create for real breakthroughs. If you found this journey through creativity inspiring, make sure to subscribe for more insights and tips. Your creative potential is waiting to be unleashed.